Hello, everyone. My name is Maricel, and I'm over here in Hamamatsu City. I until last year I taught at the Seirei Christopher High School, and this year I started at the Seirei Christopher Elementary School. What I would be sharing to you is my experience with my first year junior high school students in my class. My class, it's a solo teaching class, and yeah, my class is actually like an ALT type of class, although I'm teaching solo. And I was supposed to teach uh, conversation, but they practically told me to just do anything I want in the class. Okay. All right, everybody, that's it. Can we go to the next slide, Tristan? All right, so this is not a technical paper. This is just a sharing of my experience. And may I introduce to you my class. There are 23 students, but 20 of them are actually under me. The 3 are advanced, so they attend another class for the advanced. We only meet 1 hour a week. And next slide, please. So this is them. They are very cheerful. They are active, and all of them are beginner readers. So I took advantage of them being active and tried what I have been wanting to try in all of my classes for the last 10 years. Okay, thank you. So the start of this lesson started in October, and all in all, we had 9 periods, and in all of those 9 periods, I used 5 lessons. And next, please. So I chose Sick by Shel Silverstein. As you can see, this poem has a very simple, uh, it has simple words in it. And there are many new words, vocabulary that is for the level of the junior high school. The sentences are simple. So many nouns, like parts of the body, kinds of diseases, so many adjectives and verbs. Okay, next please. Next please. And I'm gonna share to you, I'm just gonna show you like 3 lessons, the first 2 and the last lesson that I did. So the poem was divided according to length and also the number of new words, because we wouldn't want the students to be overwhelmed, and of course on the difficulty of pronunciation of these words. And I was very intentional in dividing the poem. So for example, for this chunk of the poem, I use the first line of the poem, which is, I cannot go to school today. I use this to introduce I can and I can't sentences. So as you can see in the vocabulary, first, I put the English and the translation in Japanese at first. And we just went over it. And then I introduced to them the he, she, it, the pronouns, and the target sentence for that day. And then there's always that one kid who would know what funny is or what the meaning of strong is. So I left all of these blank. And then each of the lesson was supplemented with a speaking activity or a game, which I will not share at this time, maybe for another time. And so in this particular lesson, we had the verbs, the meaning of the verbs, and also we went into the present continuous forms. But as you can see, this would be long if we try to imagine it in class. So this particular lesson took us 2 hours. Okay, so the first day and the second day. And then for every lesson that we would have, we spent at least 5 minutes reading at the beginning of the lessons or the class. We would sometimes have pair reading, and then we would sometimes have group reading. At first, of course, because they cannot read that yet. At first, we had like a repeat after me type of reading. Second lesson was printed at the back of the first lesson, and I left the vocabulary, I left the English, the Japanese translation blank for them to do as homework. And also, I have left the adjectives and the nouns blank also. I mean, the verbs blank for them to do at home to see in which part, which words are kyoshi or adjectives or verbs. And for if you notice this chunk of this poem, there are only 4 lines. Okay, and in here I chose my face looks green. So we had I think we had a part of the lesson in the book of she looks like something something. She looks, and also she looks happy, she looks sad, that kind of target sentence. And again, this was supplemented with a game. I tried to use games in all of my, it's speaking kind of game. Okay, so, and sometimes we would use Kahoot also for them to get to know the vocabulary or to review the vocabularies. And then in after in every lesson, we reviewed the part that we did last time. So sometimes we would take 10 minutes of reading. And so this is the last lesson that we had, the last part of the poem. And there's what's that? That's when we really did some, we really went into the WH questions, okay? And again, as you can see, the vocabulary, the adjectives and the verbs are left blank for them to do as homework. So by December, we decided that they would perform. The children decided that they would perform at the Gakushu Happyokai because it's the first time for them to do it. So out of the 9 hours that we did, we had 1 full hour of practice. Well, maybe 1.5 hour of practice. Next, please. And
2,
what I noticed, can you
1.
please pause the video?
Sick by Chelsea.
Okay, so what are the lessons that I took from here? At first, when we were doing the reading, when they were doing the reading, and I would say, okay, you read now, they were all sitting down and they would just read on their paper. And it was very boring. It was just like, sick, Maricel, something like that. So what I did was I asked them to, whenever it's their turn to read, they would have to stand up, then sit down again. Okay, as you can see later in the video. So, but first I grouped them. I put them into group. There are 3 groups. And so reading in prone, in sitting position or standing position alone. So I did something like that. They alternated from standing and sitting down. Could you please play the video? It wouldn't take long.
Justin. I cannot go to school today.
I have a misos.
A gosh.
A lush.
And double gums. My nose is wet. My throat is dry.
Okay, thank you. So as you can see, this is actually the better part of the practice that they had. They stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down. It kept them on their toes. It's like, oh, it's our turn. Oh, it's our turn, something like that. Rather than nudging each other while they're sitting or just standing up. Okay, next slide, please.
My back is
Okay, can you please pause it for a while? Okay, so there are sentences in the poem that are that were very, very long. And it's very overwhelming for the students. So what I did was, instead of speaking whole lines individually, they can speak it as a group, or there are parts that are just words. As you can see, the first part says agash. They only have to speak agash. So that's very easy for them to do. And I I I put the I showed them the parts, and they only chose the parts that they can do with confidence. I didn't assign the parts to them. So, uh, can I do this? I gave them that, and I labeled it as A, B, C, D, and they would say, uh, teacher, I will do A, teacher, I will do B, teacher, I will do C. And the longer parts, the more difficult parts were left for the students who have a relatively higher level of speaking or English ability. And this video that I'm about to show you right now is a video that I took of them because I wanted to show them how they will look like when we will present it in the Gakushu Hakpyokai. And but as you will see in the video, uh, it's good to have these kinds of video because for them it's fun, and they would laugh, or they would reflect on how much or how well they did in speaking their lines. Could you please play the video, Tristan?
Sure.
My bag is red. My uncle's green. Each time is day. My book is gone. My jaws are down. I have a sleep in my car. My neck is stiff. My voice is weak. My tongue is doing up my mouth.
I think my head.
Falling out.
So we had a blast taking this video, and when I showed it to them with all those, I don't know what to call them, emoticons or things like that, they were all laughing, and it made them, it encouraged them to do better the next time. Next slide, please. Okay, so the sixth realization that I had was to enjoy the cooperation of the homeroom teacher. So the homeroom teacher herself was very excited in having her class present this kind of choral presentation in the Gakushu Hapiokai. So she said, "Okay, I will tell them to practice at lunchtime," or things like that. And the kids were game in doing that. And then I was actually, if you notice, they were um, at the practice session, they were reading, right? So um, I prepared these nice folders so that they would have nice folders to hold while they were doing the presentation. And then when I told the homeroom teacher, and I said, "Could you please ask them to paste their script on these folders?" And she would said, "Sensei, I think they don't need that. I told them that if they can, they should present it. It would be cool. It would be more cool for them to present without reading." And she said that the kids agreed. So on the presentation day, this video that you will see later, this is actually the first time they did it without their script. So I myself was very surprised that they could do it. And the students can do more than what we think they could. Yeah. So, and the last reflection that I had was, the students can do and will do anything as long as they're having fun and they are given choices and they're confident in doing these things. Could you please play? Tristan?
Why don't it as big as rocks?
I contain 16 sprinkles and just one more.
That's 17.
And don't you think my face looks green?
My leg is cut.
My
Eyes are blue. This might be enzymatic fruit.
I cough.
And sneeze.
Now.
Oh my god.
I'm joke.
Okay, so I cut it so that it won't be long. Okay, so everybody, I think that's all that I have to share. If you have any questions, it's just actually it's very fun for me. And I hope it was fun for the kids too. But, as you can see, they were having fun uh, performing it on stage. That's all. Thank you so much for your participation.
All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Hi, Maria.
Hello. Hello,
Hey,
Eliseo.
presenting my friend. Just a really quick question. Was it assessed or graded or not? Thank you.
Oh, no, no. We didn't assess or grade it. So yeah, we didn't do any assessment at all. But we did reflect on it after. We had some, furikairi after.
Question.
Okay.
Sorry. Ma'am, how did you work on the pronunciation of the students? I might have missed that part because I might have not seen all of the slides, but did
Okay.
you work on the pronunciation like when they were practicing individually or in a group? How did you monitor their pronunciation level?
Okay. So at the first day that we had that lesson, I had them repeat after me. Okay. And then as we went along, one one student would say, my eyes, what is that? My left eye is going blind. He was supposed to say blind, but he was always saying brown or
Oh,
blood,
okay, okay.
like that. So every time they do that, I correct them. And then when there was a one lesson that we did that I told them we would go one-on-one while they were practicing in group. For those who have problems with their pronunciation, come to me and let's check it. So
Okay.
that's what I did.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Shumi from Ashikaga. So I have a question. What grade are they actually?
They're first graders in junior high school.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
And how many classes do you take actually in a week?
We only have 1 hour in a week, like one period. That's 45-minute class in a week.
Okay. So they practice for 1 hour in a week.
Yeah, but we only had like 1 full hour, 1 full class practice. We started it in October until February, and but we had to do the lessons too. So we would only do like at least 5 minutes every time, 5 to 10 minutes of reading practice every time.
Okay. And do you give them any homework? So read out loud actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I would encourage them to practice at their houses and to let their parents listen to them. Whether they did it or not, I actually was not very strict in checking that already. So I would just say, okay, just practice and read to each other and things like that.
Thank you very much. It was helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, can I ask you a question about the reactions from the students and what their console was about how they, did during the performance and then how they felt about the process?
Okay, so because we told them it's the first time that the school had that kind of presentation, they were excited, and they were very happy that they did it. But at the onset, our what's that? Our goal was not to present in the Gakusho Happyokai. but I just told them, let's try something new. Okay, let's try something new. And then they all agreed. So at the end, they would say, I want to do it again. And at the end, I after the presentation, whenever I pass by their their classroom, I would hear things like, what's that? Like it would come naturally, the lines from the poem, they're already speaking it, you know, even if it's not English class. And then they would say, I cannot go to school today. And we would laugh about that because uh, let's go and play, or let's go out and play. I would hear random uh, English sentences from them. So that is also a kind of, I don't know, it's an application maybe. So most of them would say, oh, we would love to do this again. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea, especially for that age group, to incorporate, I think it was a poetry recitation, but any kind of drama. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Yes, I think so too. That's why I took advantage, because I saw that this class would do anything. There you have, you can see, the atmosphere in a class. And even if there are several students who are, like, I hate English or things like that, if the whole atmosphere of the class is like, let's go and do it, I took advantage of that. Honestly, if you were to ask me if I would have been able to do it in my other class, like, maybe not. There's just that kind of class that won't do it, honestly speaking. Yes.
Mom, another question for me.
Okay.
Okay, I saw that the skills there were reading, listening, and speaking. Okay, I was just wondering because I saw in one of your slides that you incorporated POS, parts of speech, like adjectives, verbs. Did you by any chance have them write their own sentences or come up with, their own sentences for writing or anything like that? Or did
Yeah,
you even
I
did you
left
practice
that.
home?
Oh, sorry. Thank you for the question. I left that with the homeroom teacher, because the
Oh,
homeroom teacher did the grammar, and I just kept her updated with what we have been doing.
mm-hmm.
And then she would tell me also that, okay, this is what they learned in my class, and I would try to adjust also my lessons to what she has taught them.
Mhm. Yeah, because it would be of transferable value if you
Right,
incorporated writing, or even
correct.
probably make them write their own simple poems about how they felt the night before.
Right, right, right,
And
right.
that
uh,
also, and I love it really because it touches on the four skills already. Thank you very much
right.
for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you. Right. I would really do that if I had enough time to do that. If I had enough time to do that. But yeah, my class was labeled English conversation. So, they would just wanted me to practice the kids in speaking and things like that. Okay. Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much. And thank you, Maricel. Thanks for a wonderful
Thank you.
presentation. We're going to wrap up. The next presentation is starting in less than 10 minutes.
Thank you so much for your questions today.
All right. Thank you. Thanks very much. Everybody's muted, but I love to give a round of applause. Thank you.